So every now and then you come down to Lubbock, Texas, to chop it up with your buddy John, who you've met like 7 months ago through an AI tool. What's up, John?
Hey, Chris.
Been a busy 2 days, huh?
You've been a busy 7 months, right?
That is true. What have you learned in the last 7 months about AI?
AI is the most essential tool for engagement on the planet.
So you're saying AI or die?
AI or die. AI. I was just telling these people from the patch company that exactly that. It's like, look, I mean, if you're going to build a business, any kind of business, you need prospects. You need a constant flow of people that you then need to engage with. Kind of like a big funnel, right? You start with a lot of people and you work, who's actually interested in my deal.
Views, followers,
Right.
subscribers, never-ending business.
Exactly, and you need a constant flow of them. I don't care whether you own golf suites, Our buddy Jerry needs people to constantly come here for the first time and say, hey, check it out. If you're in network marketing, like I've been for 40 plus years, you need people to constantly come check out your product.
Create connections, create relationships.
If you're selling real estate, if you're selling life insurance, if you're selling automobiles, whatever you're doing, you need constant engagement to build your business. And why not take advantage of the most advanced tool in human history, AI, to do so? And that's what we've been doing together for 7 months with podcasting and with some of the other things that we're doing.
So you've been like literally on board from when I literally got this thing live. In the 7 months, what has AI done for you that literally allows you to do more important things and literally pushes off all the heavy lifting, all the grunt work to the AI?
Yeah, well, exactly that, Chris. Number one, it gives me the ability to do what only I can do. What only I can do in my business is to close, is to talk to a prospect and about my business, about my product, about my opportunity, things that only I can do. I let AI do everything else. I use AI to do a lot of writing. I also use AI to contact other podcasters.
You use AI to create clips.
I use AI to create clips. I use AI basically to do everything that I could not possibly do myself in my business. And I'll give you a comparison. When many years ago, when I lived in New York, I would cut my own lawn. And my mentor said to me one day, he goes, what would it cost you to hire a landscaper? And back then it was probably $50 an hour. And it was a big lawn. So let's say $100. So if it cost me $100, but I was making more than $100 in 2 hours, it was costing me money to cut my lawn. Now, if you want to cut your lawn for exercise, that's fine, well, of course. But at the end of the day, if you're cutting your lawn because you got to cut the lawn, and you can pay somebody else to do that, that's probably better at it than you are, okay, that's what you do. And to me, that's what AI is. AI is all the stuff that you can have something else do, because it's not a somebody, it's a something, right? It's robots, that I can have them do. And then the things that only I as a human being can do in my business, what I do best. So at the end of the day, that's
stories.
what we're doing. Yeah, exactly. So
Create content.
It's the same comparison. Constantly create content, constantly create flow of people, constantly meet new people. The other thing it's done.
Real quick question. How many interviews have you done in 7 months?
Boy, I didn't count them, but I've had over 2,500 engagements with other podcasters.
And how many people are replying to you?
I get about 30% of that actually respond to to who I am, my story, that it fits their brand as well, or what they're talking about in their
show format.
Be it network marketing, be it small business, be it health nutrition,
side hustles,
right? Side hustles, etc. That is consistent with what they're talking about. I mean, if they got a show on knitting, they probably don't want me on their show.
No, definitely not.
But what's great with the AI, because of the word match, I'm not going to be talking to somebody with a knitting show. I'm going to be talking to somebody who's in my element, and that's whether or not they want me or not.
So let's talk about that for a quick second. Over the 7 months, you had a certain set of keywords that you had when you started, and then you started noticing, hey, I'm watching my friend Leslie, maybe I should change my keyword, add the word human longevity, maybe take out the word network marketing, add the word side hustle. You've made some adjustments along the way. And you've been able to literally tweak it so that your AI actually has gotten better over time.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Is we found certain words that people didn't like for whatever reason, or they had a prejudice against a word. or an industry for whatever reason, fair or unfair, people are entitled to their opinion. So at the end of the day, we have made tweaks, and it just keeps it going up and up and up. I mean, I could do podcasts all day. I'm going home tomorrow to do 3 podcasts tomorrow afternoon.
Crazy.
Okay, and I could do 5, but I got time for 3. Thursday, I've got 2 scheduled. Friday, I don't know what I have. I'm going to look. But constantly, now my friend Leslie, okay, we've kind of brought her into this equation in early May, and since then, she said, I just looked at her numbers. I was showing them to somebody over 2,600 engagements. And once again, about 30% of that, about 30% of that are people who've gotten back to her, and she still has probably well over 100 shows.
Wasn't there a point where Leslie got in the fetal position and was crying for you to give her a break?
You're saying that, not me.
Where literally she needed 2 weeks to just rest and relax?
Yeah, it got a little overwhelming how many people wanted her on their show.
And the reaction she was getting, like, people really wanted her. They were like, hey, we'd love to have you on our podcast.
Well, what's cool is I don't want to announce this now because we don't have his permission, but we got a major guy, another one of my major contacts.
Just say it. He's already on board.
Yeah, okay. Well, the great Brian Carruthers, $2 million earner last year with Legal Shield, #1 earner in that company, long-term friend of mine for over 30 years. Brian's about to start this, and that's going to be really interesting to see because his product's a little different. Okay, legal services,
which everyone needs. Whether you know it or not, you need it.
And so it's going to be amazing to see what happens, how that blows up on his end. I mean, he's going to be day and night. And once again, you schedule this around. Let's make this clear, Chris, because, so we don't intimidate anybody. You still got to run your business. You still got to run your life. Okay, everybody on both sides has a Calendly. So if you say, hey, I can't do.
What is it? What's it called?
A Calendly.
Listen, guys, if you don't have a Calendly or some sort of calendar system to use to organize your day, you're missing out. You've literally got to get your day organized and let people book time with you. And by the way, when people are booking time with you, they don't have a lot of slots to choose from. Like, you literally have to give them, hey, I got this window.
Exactly, and when you work internationally too, because we do podcasts. I mean, I've done podcasts as far away as Australia, New Zealand, UK, Bolivia, Spain. Mexico. Mexico's on our time zone, but the other places aren't. I mean, sometimes somebody on the other side of the world, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. It might be 3 where you are in the afternoon, but so you got to work around their schedule too. But people are accommodating. People definitely want you on their shows. And by the way, this medium is going to continue to grow. This is the new media, by the way. If you look at this past election, without getting into politics and who I voted for, who Chris voted for, or who you voted for.
I voted for Trump, by the way.
Okay, well, so did I. I didn't see much of a choice on that one. But at the end of the day, here's the point. Barron Trump got his dad, almost 80 years old, to recognize that people under 35 were not watching MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News.
Nobody's watching MSNBC.
Right? So the point is, okay, he got his dad to recognize this medium. Donald Trump was on over 100 podcasts, and Kamala Harris was on about 4 or 5. So the only point I'll make about that, without getting political, is people who listen to podcasts. So if you're not podcasting, you need to join us and start to use podcasts to get your message out, okay? I'm not talking to politicians here. I'm talking to the business community, okay? People like Chris, people like myself, people like our cameraman over here who's got their own business.
Paxton. Shout out to Paxton.
I mean,
checking his Instagram.
Paxton's over there checking his Instagram right now. It's growing with Chris and I on his show. But
shit, he's looking. He's like, God, when are these guys going to get out of here? I got to be somewhere.
But that's the bottom line with all of this is 3 words, folks. Just to kind of wrap this up, right? Unless Chris has more questions. Engagement, more opportunity.
Are you seeing that? Are you seeing more people engage with you?
And my contact capital, my phone. I have hundreds of people in my phone I didn't know this time last year. And by the way, every one of them is a good person. Every one of them somebody you'd want to have dinner with. Every one of them somebody you'd want to sit next door.
High value individuals, big centers of influence.
Podcasters are generally entrepreneurial. They're generally interested in you, and they're interested in the world at large. So it builds your community of great contact capital for whatever you're doing. Doesn't mean they're all going to join your business, but they're a great contact. I've created business relationships, by the way, for other podcasters. I've introduced podcasters to podcasters, for example. We're saying, yeah, you know what, I'm good on your show, but let me introduce my friend Chris, for example. I just introduced Chris, for example, to a company in British Columbia that does finance, right? Because it's one of your businesses. The guy, August.
Oh, August, yeah.
August, right?
Vancouver, right?
Yeah, but they're in the real estate development business, for example, and Chris dabbles in that, for example. So I introduced them. I introduced Leslie to people who have shows on health and beauty because that's her thing. I've introduced Brian Carruthers, for example, to people who have financial shows already. I've introduced other people, okay? And by the way, some business deals have happened as a result of that. So that's one thing. Second word. The second word, okay, is something that happened to me where I had to pivot. Okay, you may have to pivot right now in your business for whatever reason. I had to pivot 6 years ago and start doing a podcast because of COVID. I had launched 2 books during COVID. Well, terrible time to launch books when you're a public speaker. So I started to use podcasting to get my books out, and it worked very, very successfully. Okay, and then another word, agility. And the agility came in my business, Chris and everyone. The agility came when I recognized.
Well,
when
I saw you this morning pretty agile out there on the
Yeah, I was
golf
pretty
course.
agile dodging
People
golf balls
dodging
this morning.
golf balls.
That's another story. But the agility came where I realized that just like in sports, right? You got to move vertical and you got to move this way, okay? And you got to be willing to do that with AI, okay? AI or die is a true statement, okay? Whether you like it or not, I didn't like it a year ago. I love it now. But that's just the reality, and that's where the agility comes in. And by the way, if you're a little older, and I am, okay, I'm a senior citizen. If you're a little older, you might be intimidated by this. Don't be. It's very, very usable. You can learn it. You don't have to learn how to build AI. That's all built for you. You have to learn how to use and apply
Well, during
AI.
your 7 months, you haven't been put out on a life raft by yourself. You've got
no.
support. Whenever you
Tremendous.
have a question, I'm there for you. Our team is there for you. We literally can make things happen for you on the fly. It's almost like having
Yeah.
an AI developer at your fingertip. Instead of
time.
paying them $350,000 a year, shout out to all my guys working.
Exactly. No, the support's there, and it's only going to get better and better and better as the technology continues to advance.
So let's talk about the Human Longevity Show. In those 7 months, you've now built your brand where you're creating a unique show positioned for Amazon to acquire, at least the advertising rights, that is the first podcast that has a subscription box, the Human Longevity Box. Talk a little bit about that experience that's happened and unfolded in the last 30 days. You were at the Fitness Expo doing, I don't know how many interviews.
lot.
And literally, people loved it so much, you're now going to do it at the Mr. Olympia event in Las Vegas on October 10th.
Well, yeah, exactly. The Human Longevity Show, okay, we're tying the brands of people that we interview to a subscription model, okay, to a box basically where they can try different products, right? Be they network marketing, my industry of all these years, be it non-network marketing, and network marketing is not the only industry out there. Frankly, it's a small industry comparative to others. But it's to get both manufacturers, sales organizations, companies to get their brand out for people to try in a subscription model where basically they'll get a box every single month with different goodies in it that they'll have the opportunity to try.
And each
they've never done
goodie
before.
has an interview that they can go watch
Exactly.
that talks about that product for 30 minutes.
Product. And by the way, we're open to services too on this. Okay, there's some great services. Okay, that'll also be in the box. And as that idea advances, it's an idea that we think is going to be bought by a major company. But before we get there,
Shout out to my guys over at Wondery.
this is something that you can participate in if you want. If you have a brand, okay, like there's brands here we're working with in Lubbock, for example, that are going to be in that box, right? People will try that. We're going to do an event with our friend Steve Aoki here in a couple of weeks, for example.
September 21st.
September 21st.
Private breakfast in the morning, Sirius XM studio content for 5 hours during the day, and then at night, I mean, you're going to be dressed up.
Yeah,
You're going to wear a suit.
I'm
some
actually
nice
going to wear a
shoes.
suit and tie instead of my shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
Okay,
from 6 to 10,
you know,
work the red carpet, give away Human Longevity boxes, 500 of them, to some of the greatest
yeah,
celebrities and influencers in Steve Aoki's circle.
exactly.
All supporting brain health, raising money and awareness.
Exactly. So these are the type of events that we do, and then of course the Olympia is coming up in
October
October.
10th, 9th and 10th.
Okay, so that's something once again that you can participate, get your product out there because we'll be represented at that as well, and also doing podcasts at that event and subsequent events down the road. I think we got the Super Bowl coming up in the not too distant
You
future.
coming? I mean,
Well,
last Super Bowl you had to literally sit next to Tom Brady.
I-
I couldn't get that done for you.
I know. So if I can't sit next to Tom Brady, I wasn't going to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I mean, and Tom blew me off. But at the
Shout
end
out
of the
to
day,
Tom Brady.
Hey, Tom, TB12, baby. We should get TB12 in the box, by the way.
Tom, are you paying
Tom, you
attention?
listening? Are you listening,
paying
Tom?
attention?
Are you listening to us, Tom?
I mean, listen, human longevity, TB12. Human longevity,
It's consistent.
TB12.
That's
I
it.
mean,
there is a
come on.
consistency there.
Tom, how are you ever going to have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to meet these kind of celebrities on a red carpet? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Okay, well,
My bad, dog.
Yeah, I don't think Tom's not necessarily our audience, but if you're our audience, if you're listening to this. But back to the Super Bowl, right? There's some things that we'll be doing.
What are we doing at the Super Bowl? Anything interesting at
Well,
Top Golf?
I know we're going to be doing an event at Top Golf up in was it Menlo Park?